Heyo everyone, this is the HappyAnimaidCafeManager here with another walkthrough episode for the game Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Okay, let's see the event unfold. What? What? No fingerprints? You see, before I worked as a caretaker, I worked at a chemical plant. I burned my fingers working with the stuff. Yup. What? Yogi, you sneak! You burned your fingers off to hide your past. Well, if the witness has no fingerprints, I guess we will not be able to prove his identity. No! Tit, tit, tit. Well, what will you do, Mr. Wright? It seems that the case has been decided, no? No. I know what happened. I know everything. I just can't prove it. But no, I can't let it end like this. I can't lose. There has to be another way. There is no one who can testify as who this witness is. No one. Nick, what are we going to do? I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. What do I do? Tit. Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to cross-examine the parrot for a little comic relief, Yeah, very funny. You're a sore winner, Von Karma. Wait a second. Cross-examine the parrot. What is it, Nick? No, you're not going to, Your Honor. The defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal. Take Mr. Von Karma up? On my proposal? Exactly, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot. Order! Oh, well, what do you think, Mr. Von Karma? Need you even ask? This is farce! I object! Wait a second. You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot, Von Karma. I have a right to do as you suggested. Well, if you're so desperate, then please be my guest. Of course, should you go through with this, and nothing comes of it, then I hope you're ready for the consequences. Nick, this is crazy. Well, still want to go through with your little game? Yes, I'm doing it. Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Von Karma's rigged every person's testimony, every piece of evidence, except the parrot. She's my last chance. At least, I think so. Bailiff, bring in the parrot. That's quite a bird. Please tell us your name. Name! The witness is ignoring me. It must hurt to be ignored by a parrot. To be ignored by a bird. Very well, witness. Who is your owner? Please testify for us. Who is your owner? Hello. Swat! Certainly the most concise testimony we've had so far. Very well, begin your cross-examination. Right. What are you going to do, Nick? I don't know. What do we do, Maya? Witness, you can't just say hello and expect us to get anywhere. I want you to testify. Maya, you talk to her. Right. What do I say? Remember, 2 days ago. Paul Lee. Have we forgotten something? Squawk! Don't forget DL6. Squawk! If I can't get Paulie to say that here, that will prove that the caretaker has something to do with DL6. Paulie, have we forgotten something? Hello? Squawk! That's not what you're supposed to say. Forgot? Something. We forgot. Hello, hello. Squawk. Uh-oh. It's not working, Nick. She won't say it. This is ridiculous. Why won't she say it? Tis, tis, tis. Something the matter, Mr. Wright. Wait. Don't tell me Mr. Von Karma expected this. He couldn't have restrained the parrot, could he? Did he train her not to respond when we asked if we'd forgotten anything? Witness, you can't just say hello and... What do I say? What's your name? Maybe I should get her to say her name. Polly, Polly, what's your name? Polly, Polly. Squawk, Mr. Wright. I think we've established that the parrot's name is Polly. Does that have anything to do with the owner's identity? Of course. Yes, it does. Ha! Fascinating. You claim that the parrot's name will prove her owner's identity? Then show us proof. Nick, don't you think you're taking this bluffing a little too far? Listen, we're not here to answer the question of who is the caretaker. We're here to prove that he is Yanni Yogi. And all we have to do is tie the name Polly to Yogi. Your Honor, the proof that the parrot's name reveals the caretaker's identity is... A summary of the file on the DL6 incident. Press A to button to read. Elevator, District Court. Error in the elevator was oxygen. Depleted at the time of incident. No clues found on the scene. Gregory Edgeworth, age 35. Defense attorney, trapped in the elevator, returning from a lost trial with his son, Miles, age 9. One bullet found in the heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. Yanni Yogi, age 37. Court bailiff, trapped with the Edgeworth. Memory lost due to oxygen deprivation. After his arrest, fiancée Polly Jenkins commits suicide. It was pretty sad to see what Yogi had to go through in the movie. From everybody calls him a murderer, and when Yogi enters his apartment, he finds his wife's dead. Just check out the movie when you got the time. The DL6 case file? That's quite a large file you have there. Which page is the proof on, then? Show us or stop wasting our time. Very well. Mr. Wright, please show us the page. Where in this file is the information connected to the parrot's name? Suspect data. It's on the suspect data page. This page has the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide. See? Indeed, it does say that, yes. What was his fiancée's name? Polly Jenkins. Polly? Exactly, Your Honor. He remembered the name of his fiancée who committed suicide. That's why he named his parrot after her. I see. I guess that is possible. Bah! A mere coincidence, that's all. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. Well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, what does this make you my granddaughter's fiancée? She's only 7 years old. Indeed. Alone, it is a little weak for evidence in the murder trial. We should need some other corroborating evidence. Where am I going to find that? Nick, we're getting closer. One more. If we could just get one more piece of evidence. Right. But what? Very well, witness. You may continue. What's the safe number? Maybe I'll get her to say the number of the safe. Huh? The safe? Why? Let's just try to get her to say anything, okay? Polly, what was the number of the safe in the shack? 1228. 1228. My, what a reckless parrot. Well, Mr. Wright, you aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker. Actually, it does. That's why I had her say it. Ha! Ridiculous. How could the number to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker? to the caretaker's true identity. Alright, the case summary is tells of December 28, 2001. The DL6 case file? What is this obsession you have with that case? Mr. Wright, where in this file is something related to that safe number? It's on the case summary page. The case summary? Specifically the day on which the DL6 incident occurred. The date of the incident, December 28th. Why, that's today's date, 15 years ago. And the number on that safe is 1228. Ah! He used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him. I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. Bah! This is not tangible proof. I set my ATM's card number to 0001 because I'm number 1. This has nothing to do with a date. Nothing. That's enough. I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence. That's all. True, that is a possibility. However, two coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the bookshop. Immediately. Witness, tell us your name. Wait, this witness, he doesn't remember. No, it's okay. I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done. Nick, he looks totally different. This is the real Yogi. I think, finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting. For 15 years. Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order! Order! Yanni Yogi? So, was it you who killed Robert Hammond and tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes. It was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond. He said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent, get me off the hook. So I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but he didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancé, my social standing. Then this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance after 15 years. This was it. Finally, a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Von Karma, where is Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then, the defendant Miles Edgeworth is innocent in his case at least. Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand? There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case, so I would like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Very well. This court finds the defendant Miles Edgeworth not guilty! Yay! That is all. The court is adjourned. Did someone say objection? It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means no. Edgeworth, Your Honor, I object to your judgment. What do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick, Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad. Uh-oh, what do I do? Just leave it to Edgeworth. No, I'm sure Edgeworth thought about this one long and hard. This isn't my place to interfere. Nick, are you sure there's nothing we can do about it? This is his problem now. For 15 years, I've had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. That's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean, in the incident where your father died, from the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident. It was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. Order! Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant declared innocent is confessing to a different crime? A crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today? I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. Bah! It's obvious. We hold a trial right here, right now. We tried this man for his crime 15 years ago. I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. The court is adjourned. December 28, 2:24 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your efforts. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, pal. I mean, you kill your dad? I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy, just crazy! Nick, what are you doing? Huh? Oh, I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it in court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tie in your belt. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. December 28, 2:30 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Then I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Von Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will a witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I could get it to work. Please, please! The DL6 incident. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in that elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Bah! The same claim that Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one. Just then, something heavy fell on my feet. What was it? A pistol. I assumed it was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi. The safety must have come off when it fell from its holster. You picked it, and you picked it up. What happened next? I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. The gun fired once. Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. The gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream. To this day, yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. There it is. One part of the testimony clearly contradicts the evidence, but I don't know what it means. I better find out and quick. Photograph of the murder scene. Your Honor, man, that's my first penalty for this day, for the last day of the trial. That didn't go so well. Trapped in an elevator, one bullet is found. The murder weapon was fired twice. Single gunshot, then a scream. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the gunshot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. But that doesn't make sense. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this as evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? The victim data. Look at the victim data in this file. It says quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edwards only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So who fired the remaining shots? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired the second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice, however, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot was fired had something to do with the case? Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. White, show us your proof. Do you have any evidence that the second firing of the pistol was related to this incident? Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edwards. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves two shots were fired. Where? Your Honor, please get a clue. Show the judge the contradiction in this photo. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see a bullet in the hole. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edwards was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edwards fired that second shot. Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, two shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edwards' heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try case summary page. The case summary. That's on page 1. Look at what is written there. Not a single clue is found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edwards' life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, to be continued, baby.